So joining me right now here on The Great Scott Show, the Great Sports Callers Open Think Tank, is a former Ragin Cajun, 12-year NFL veteran with the Pittsburgh Steelers, two-time Super Bowl champion, a New Orleanian, husband, father of one son and two dogs, now an NFL Network analyst and radio sports analyst. And you can meet him this Sunday at the Dick's Sporting Goods grand opening here in Lafayette from noon to 2. Ike Taylor joins us now on the program. Ike, what's up?
What's up, Scott? I'm going to reiterate what you just said. It's Ike Taylor, two-time Super Bowl champion, former Ragin Cajun. We got the grand opening weekend celebration at the new Dick's Sporting Goods in Ambassador Town Center in Lafayette. Sunday from noon to 2 p.m. Meet me. I'm going to be with the fans. I'm going to sign some autographs. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to take some pictures. Again, meet me at Dick's Sporting Goods, the new Dick's Sporting Goods, Ambassador Town Center, from noon to 2 p.m. Sunday. Come check me out.
There you go. This Sunday, he'll be there, and it's part of a special 3-day grand opening. Ike, I want to talk about your career a little bit. Outside of the 2 Super Bowl wins, what's the most memorable moment of your 12-year career?
The 2 Super Bowls. The 2 Super Bowls, man. But I learned a lot from the loss in that Green Bay Super Bowl in Dallas. You know, going and winning that Super Bowl 40 in Detroit, that was special. And the reason why that was special, because we played the top 4 offenses in the league at the 6th seed, and nobody gave us a chance. But we all believed in each other. That 2009 Super Bowl, our defense was so prepared, so ready, understood. We felt like every time we got on that field, nobody beating us. And even if somebody beat us, we learned from that beating. In 2010, we felt like, man, we right back. 3 Super Bowls sound better than 2. It's just that day Aaron Rodgers couldn't miss. And I had the opportunity to have now my wife go to all 3 and son go to 2 of them. But I had the opportunity to have my family members go to 1, the guys I grew up in college go to another one, and the guys I grew up in high school go to the 3rd one. So I was very fortunate enough to give those guys a Super Bowl experience, and that meant a lot to me. But regardless on the 2 Super Bowls that I have on my resume, I learned the most from that Super Bowl loss in Green Bay.
Is James Harrison as mean and nasty as he comes across to the common fan, or is he just a chill dude?
He's a chill dude. You just don't want to cross him.
He's one of those. Simply put, man, he's cool. You just want to be on his good side.
You want to be on his good side. It's a reason why we call him Silverback.
Got it.
If you know anything about them gorillas in the wild, is one guy you don't want to get on your nerves or you don't want to piss off, and that's that Silverback. Because once you wake up that Silverback, all hell breaks loose in that jungle. And that's James Harrison. For one, he's a man's man, meaning he gonna scare you on the field, off the field, and in the woods. 2, he don't play no games, and he's a man of his word. He's the old school, shake your hand. We ain't got to write nothing down on no sheet of paper. We don't need no lawyer. Your word is your word. My word is my word kind of guy, and that's rare.
Ike Taylor is our guest, ESPN 1420 and .com. Ike, who is the toughest cover in your career? You covered a lot of receivers, almost all of them during your time that were in the league. Who is the toughest?
I tell everybody, man, a healthy Steve Smith. And the reason why I say a healthy Steve Smith is because he got that short man syndrome, meaning he only 5'9" and some change. Don't let him fool you. 5'9" and some change, but he plays with the heart of a 6'4", 6'5" guy. So he felt like he got cheated. And what I got cheated? I got cheated my height. So every down, every practice, every game I play, I got to prove. For one, that this 5'9" doesn't mean anything. For two, I'm not going to let nobody come across me. So from a running play to a passing play, you best believe Steve Smith was going to be on his JOB. And that's what he brought to the table. And another guy, of course, Chad Ochocinco was one of probably the most versatile tall guys you can put your hand across. Was tall but had little man quickness. But the guy later on in my career who made my Sundays a lot easier was going against an Antonio Brown during practice, week in and week out. So I knew from the beginning he was going to be special. I didn't know he was going to be this special, but I knew he was going to be special. But facing him in practice every day made my Sundays not too bad.
Yeah, you mentioned Steve Smith, longtime Panther, now at the Ravens. You've been in those battles between the Steelers and the Ravens. What's that animosity like between the two teams like? Because it comes across on TV as just dirty, raw, and real.
It is. I mean, it's one thing you don't try to teach your kids on hatred, or you try not to have any kind of hatred in your heart. But when we played Baltimore, I hated them. That's just how it was, and I'm sure they felt the same way. Now, for a few of those guys I might work out with in the offseason, it was all love. We all understood. But it's just that bad blood. You know how them rivalries get, man. Back in the day when Detroit Pistons played the Chicago Bulls back in the day, man. You know how it was when Isaiah and them boys played Chicago. If you know anything about basketball, it was those kind of games. Like, I'm going to respect everybody. I just hate the fact that I'm playing you right now.
Ike Taylor.
Because you're in Baltimore. So, I mean, it was a mutual understanding, and the mutual understanding was we don't like y'all, y'all don't like us.
Ike Taylor, our guest right now. Candid stuff from the 12-year NFL veteran. You can follow him on Twitter at Ike_Swaggin U. And Ike, you played at UL, and when you guys would play on NBC, you would say Ike Taylor swaggin'. And Cajun fans are like, what does that mean, and why isn't he saying University of Louisiana? So for the Cajun fans listening right now, clear it up for all of them. What's swaggin', and follow that up with, I guess, a little bit of memories from your time at UL.
Man, Swaggin U ain't nothing but Louisiana at Lafayette. That's all it is. I just changed the name because I felt like, man, people really ain't understand the University of Louisiana Lafayette. Now, if you can just check in the last 5 years, they've been going to the New Orleans Bowl on the often, meaning they've been successful on the often. Don't get it twisted. I still know what's going on in Ragin Cajun country, but that's how I felt coming out of Lafayette. I felt like to come out of Lafayette, you had to have that swag. And the reason why I felt like you had to have that swag, one, because I was from New Orleans, two, because, man, we weren't really on the map at the time. Like, we still had our Jakes. We still had our Brandon Stokeleys. We still had a few guys in the league before your Brian Mitchells, your Orlando Thomases. Like, we still had some guys, but I feel like we weren't really getting that respect. So people already knew what college I went to, and the college I was talking about was Swaggin University, a.k.a. Louisiana Lafayette. So I don't want to get nobody to have no feelings about what I was saying. Like, even your Al Michaels, who loved me dearly when I made that statement, he knew what time it was. He knew where I went. He knew I was a Ragin Cajun. So I was just representing the Ragin Cajuns at Swaggin University.
Ike, you played at the same time as Peanut, Charles Tillman. Did you guys hang out much outside of football? Y'all keep in touch at all, or was it kind of just, teammates in college and you both went on to have your success?
Teammates in college. Nut went to Chicago. I got drafted by Pittsburgh, but you talking about learning a lot from one guy. Like, quietly, I sat back and watched Peanut in college a lot. From his work ethic to how he dealt with schoolwork, to just his personality. He's a great guy.
Ike Taylor.
You can't ask for a better teammate. You can't ask for a better person. If he has a sister or brother, you can't ask for a better brother. Like, Peanut is just one of those genuine guys. Just point blank, period. He's just a genuinely good dude. Now, if you put them pads on him, ain't nobody going to outwork him. So I felt like I ain't want nobody outworking me. Who was my match? Shoot, I had to outwork Nut. So Nut always bring that energy, whether it's sunny outside, whether it's raining, you would never know because Peanut always stayed the same.
Ike Taylor, our guest. Two more for you, Ike. You retired recently. Has it hit you yet how much you're going to miss playing the game? Do you think about it much, or do you feel like it'll sink in once, training camp and next season rolls around?
No, I'm done. Like, I don't miss it. I miss Troy. I miss Troy Polamalu to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, I miss my teammates. I miss my coaching staff. But as far as, like, the game, I can give two cents about the game. Like, once I said I was done, I was done. So, me just missing the game, I don't miss the game. My work for the NFL Network kind of made the transition real easy, or made that transition real easy. So, I mean, I got a son who's 9, wind up getting married to my son's mom, Danielle, and she made that transition even easier for me. So that transition, man, I think guys have a problem, and they're not smooth with the transition because they don't know what their next move is after football. You got to set yourself up while you're playing football because that window can close quickly. So I understood that as a professional athlete. Man, what would I like to do as a football player after football? So I went to the boot camp seminars for broadcasting back and forth to the NFL Network in California, sitting in training camps with Coach Tillman and Kevin Cobra, our GM, just to try to get a feel of what I wanted to do. Now, when I got a feel of what I wanted to do, and I was broadcasting because that's just something I wanted to try, that's why I went. But guys got to start setting themselves up doing football for life after football because there's a lot of avenues. You just got to pick which one you want to do.
Lastly, Ike, and before we remind everybody where you're going to be this Sunday here in Lafayette, concussions, CTE, making the headlines in the NFL. Jerry Jones, Jim Irsay, some owners making some what I found to be kind of dumb statements recently about it. How many concussions do you think you suffered in the during your time playing football, whether it be not diagnosed? I mean, maybe you have a certain number of diagnosed, but you play football your whole life. I know you played a lot of sports when you were on the West Bank in high school, but from college to pros, how many concussions do you think you've suffered in your time?
I don't know. Like you really don't, Scott. To be honest, you really don't look into that. You got to understand I started football when I was 9, so you got to look at that from 9. Like we all talk about high school, in college and the NFL, this starts when you're young. And if you've been paying attention, football players have been saying this for a couple of years now. Soccer players have been going through this worse than football players. And it's starting to show. And it's starting to tell. But it's talked about so much because of football and the contact, I understand. But kicking the ball miles per hour, getting kicked in the head in soccer, like, hockey ain't nothing but football on ice. It's just, it's so much talk about football. Any contact sport, you know what you get yourself into as a player. Like, I knew what I was getting myself into. Like, I know the consequences. I know the pros and the cons. It's just, you just deal with it when it's time to deal with it. Now, as far as, like, concussions and everything else, like, you don't know. I mean, all you gotta do is look back from when you started when you was young. Like, this started young. You just catching the aftermath, you know, late as in a career at 30-something, but still young in the real world. That's just the aftermath. But this started when you was an itty-bitty. You know what I'm saying? Like, this just don't happen overnight. This is year after year after year after year. And that's what people got to start understanding. Like, it don't start in high school, man. This started when you a baby. So now I can understand why parents are so skeptical on letting their kids play football. But, I mean, me just understanding the pros and the cons was getting injured. The pros was having my family have the best life they could have for the rest of their life. Well, and I understood that.
What is your and Danielle's approach to your son and football and playing at his age?
He plays football, so I don't mind it. And the reason why I don't mind it is he's fearless. I think people really get injured in football by being scared. You can't play football scared. You can't play football second-guessing. The time you play football second-guessing or timid or scared, one, you're going to injure yourself and you're going to injure somebody else. And my son, he gets it. He grew up in the locker room. He grew up around the James Harrisons, the James Ferriers. He grew up around the Will Gays, the Joey Porters. He grew up around those guys, and now they even teaching you how to hit, like the proper way how to hit. So guys now are actually hitting with their shoulder pads instead of hitting with their helmets. When we came up, man, it was helmet to helmet. I'm trying to see who's going to have the worst headache. But now they're teaching the proper way. Put your face mask to the side, see what you hit, but use your shoulder pads. I mean, if you can just look at when Coastal Bull and them guys played back in the day, they played the proper way. They played shoulder pads to shoulder pads. And we made that transition on sparing everybody, but, I mean, back in the day, they ain't even play with no mouthpiece. I'm sure they got a few missing teeth they got to snap in from week in and week out, depending on the position you play on or if you like your appearance. But it's just now I think the NFL and just football in general are teaching guys the proper way to hit now.
ESPN 1420, ESPN1420.com. Ike Taylor has been our guest, former Ragin Cajun, 12-year NFL veteran, two-time Super Bowl champ, NFL Network analyst, now does some sports radio as well. Give him a follow on Twitter at Ike_Swaggin U. And this Sunday, April the 3rd at Dick's Sporting Goods in Lafayette, part of the grand opening weekend. You can go meet Ike between noon and 2. He'll be signing autographs and a lot of other fun stuff, Ike. Isn't that right?
Man, no question, man. Check me out again at the grand opening weekend celebration, the new Dick's Sporting Goods at Ambassador Town Center in Lafayette. This Sunday from noon to 2. I'm going to chill with the fans, sign some autographs. Make sure I have my teeth white so I can smile right. Man, come check the former two-time Super Bowl champion, Ragin Cajun, Ike Taylor, this Sunday, again at Dick's Sporting Goods, Ambassador Town Center, 12 to 2. Be there. Tune in to Scott and I. There you go.
There you go. Ike, man, look, I know despite the retired life, you're still super busy, so appreciate you making the time today to come on the show, and all the best moving forward, man.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you having me on the show.
You got it.